going to get involved with the Texans. I think they win the division here on the road, and that also would come with a pretty big upset on the bottom of the screen there with the Titans and Ryan Tannehill at home.
We've got a squad ride sweep. Let's fucking go, boys.
How about that?
How about the Magic? So, Ron, we'll be seeing, brother. You were a terrible coach. We are in the same spot now that we were in 4 years ago. If not, maybe even worse. All right. And then, yes, a Five Guys bang. How about it, Chats? 200 to win $2,200. What do you say?
I'll tell you what this screams to me. Like, I think Corum still gets his yards, but this square screams to me there's going to be a big run early in the game from Michigan, and you're going to look up and be like, oh, surely it's Corum. No, it's probably going to be Donovan Edwards.
What
is that?
Dang.
Is that from
bro,
your
I don't
camera?
know. These TikTok cameras, bro. They be getting me. Yeah, there it is. Squad rides are perfect in the new year. Let's fucking go. What is going on, chat? Happy BTL Tuesday, episode 399 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Javon, presented by Pickett Sports. If you guys didn't tail the squad ride last night and see it on Pickett Sports, maybe you missed out and dodged a bullet because that was one of the rare L's. But besides that, make sure you guys follow us on Pickett and get all of our bets, get all the squads, prize pick squares through there, and also join the community over there. They're building great app, great sports betting community. Kind of like Twitter, right? But just for sports bettors. So go check that out. Pickett Sports, free to download, super duper clean. I promise you guys will download it and keep that puppy on your phones. Okay. Javon, look, man, whenever a squad ride loses, never come in hot, never come in happy. Let's just cut the shit and do the L recap here and show the people the loser.
Such an L recap.
Oi, oi, oi.
For me, hand up. Shit wagers, at least in the best bets, and the Heat were certainly a shit wager. I guess the Sharp report did a little better, but yeah, those are a couple of shit wagers. Didn't carry my weight on that one.
It always stings. It does. But look, man, we got to keep it realistic, right? There's going to be days like this. We cannot be perfect. You got to keep your head level, right? It's ebbs and flows. Gambling's a roller coaster, right? You cannot expect to win every day. If you do, your head's not in the right place and you're not in the right industry because you can't win every day. If you did, you'd be kicked off the books. If you did, you'd be so rich you could buy Vegas yourself. Okay, and unfortunately, those first two things have not happened yet. If they do, we'll let you guys know. All right, but for now, we're still trying to figure out why the heck we bet on Javon's Heat and my Hokies because those were absolute moose wagers, Javon. Moose.
So moose.
All right. That's enough small talk. Get those shit wagers off the screen. We did have a squad, A-team cash 3-piece.
Dude, first time in ages.
I mean, can we get some W's going in chat for an A-team casher? Because those are rare these days. Usually it's the B-team cashing almost every day. This could change the vibe. This makes up a little bit, not fully, but a little bit for that squad ride L. Good to see the A-team cash. The A-team still has a pulse and is still alive. Javon, that Josh Giddey square, I mean, my goodness, does it get more free than that? I think it hit in the first couple minutes, plain and simple. You had a 3-piece on the night. He looked great. Turned into freaking Ray Allen out there. Max Asmus was a sweat and a half. So was Texas, but luckily those both came through. And then that combo square. I mean, look, man, just keep it simple. Okay, fade the combo squares, and you go about your day in this head. Okay, I mean, these guys both had record days, right? These guys both put up, 60 points in their last game, and they put a combo up together. 2 + 2 = 4 chat. What do? We fade it, and we bring the coins home. Okay, it's that simple. Javon, let's hope we can smack another 3-piece Geyserman like we did today and run this back because I'm feeling pretty good. I've got my coins up now in Prize Picks, and I'm ready to deploy once again.
Yeah, people sleep too. I mean, we not almost, because, Jaime was a terrible square, but we were not horrendously off on this one. If we have 5 out of the 6 squares, we're guaranteeing ourselves a cash somewhere. And this one was not bad. Plumlee square was
good call. W reminder. Always feels good fading Plumlee, and the coin's coming home there after he caked me the other day. And then Jaime, right? He's the one that didn't come through here.
Yeah, anything he was just ass, unless he took Terrace here, I guess.
Terrible square. Yep, hand up. That was a bad square. No other way around it. Look, we went 5 for 6 on these squares, but not good enough. Got to be 6 for 6. Okay. W's. We got hell people in here already, Javon. Over 600 people. Thank you, Mikey, for warming this up with the morning after. If you guys are not tuning into that, make sure you check it out before BTL every single weekday. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Twitter, that's fine. But if you want to come over and hang out with the squad, come over to the Twitch page at Book It Sports. Way more people in here in chats, talking bets and hanging out. So if you like YouTube, hold it down over there with our guy Alan. Feel free, okay? If you like Twitter and for some reason like watching on that Moose platform, sure, go ahead. But come over to the Twitch. It's way better over here. We got Jets Picks resubbing. We got Fuzzy99 resubbing as well. Love to see that. And A Turner giving out 5U whale this morning on the morning after. Let's go, A Turner.
There we go.
Sure we can. Getting Mikey juiced up. Let's freaking go, Beast. Love to see that. Love to see that. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. Let's keep doing recaps here. We did the prize picks. We did the squad ride cake. Let's look at the sharp report here. I still cannot believe what the Hokies did to us. What were they doing last night, man?
It's Hokies activity, man, unfortunately.
Watch it.
I did watch it, yeah.
Thoughts?
God.
They're
They're not a great basketball team.
Water so I can roast their asses. Anything else?
I don't know. They can punch their ticket to the NIT.
Dude, you know we love going to the NIT.
I know.
It's like our favorite thing.
Yeah, you might have to run it this year.
I mean, look, I'll keep it realistic. We don't need to talk about Virginia Tech basketball that much, but unless we get a win this Saturday at Miami, we can kiss our auto bid hopes goodbye. And that's about as easy as, freaking hopping out or escaping a labyrinth. Okay, that's about as simple as that. Escaping some sort of old tomb that's made for you to just be trapped. So, GG's, Hokies, going down and winning against Miami, a team that owns us. That's about as hard as going to beat the Golden State Warriors when they're in their prime. Okay, so no chance. It was a good season. It was a good try, I guess. It's a shame we wasted Hunter Couture's last season because that guy has put in his blood, sweat, and tears and so much effort into the program, all for nothing. We'll leave it at that. All right, W, Hunter Couture, L, Mike Young, and Virginia Tech basketball. But our football team's on the rise. Maybe we'll be decent and be a football school again soon. Okay. Javon, 3-2. We take that and we move. No complaints there. Houston Christian was never the play in their high school.
Later.
Okay.
I was randomly a total sharp. I guess we both were yesterday. 4 for 4 on totals.
And that's rare for me, to be honest with you. You know, I'm more of a sides guy, anti-G unit, but totals were printing a little bit yesterday. We like that. The Nashville Ottawa over. Of course, I didn't get to the counter there with that or Ottawa. Can't make it up 2-0 on both those plays. And then the Duke VT under was a sweat and a half. Trent actually cashed that. And Trent deserves some credit too. I think he went 3-1 on straight bets yesterday. He's finally learning that straight bets are the way to actually bring coins home and give yourself a fighting, living, breathing chance to win in this industry. So he's putting that together, and he's starting to send straight bets on his own. I've been impressed with his cards recently. Honestly, just tipping the cap.
Yeah,
3-1.
And the one loss was probably a bias play. It's probably a bias play.
Doesn't even count.
That. Yeah, it really doesn't even count.
Oh, you know what, Trent? I know Javon's not going to like that one, but I sure as heck do. I almost put that one on my best bets, and we'll talk about that game soon.
I hate it, and that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, he hates it, and that means they're going to win by 20 because Javon and Air Force, for some reason,
we don't go together.
They don't go together, and that's all we're going to say because we'll leave it at that. All right, W's. King of the board recap. 1-1 from me. The Hokies should never be in the king of the boards. The Hokies should never be bet on. I never really feel bad, Javon, about giving people bets out that lose because we give out a lot of winners. We work hard, and we never charge for picks. But I do feel bad about anyone who had to actually witness that basketball game last night. Virginia Tech stinks, and I apologize for giving that play out and giving you guys false hope and having to watch that game and root against Duke, who was like 70% from 3 in that game, and we looked like that was our first game of the season. So apologies there. Okay, that is on me, and sorry that your eyeballs had to witness that atrocious team. We'll leave it at that. Bouncing back today with some King of the Board winners. I'm sure Javon will have a play as well. His first one of the week, potentially. Okay. W's. VT is a football school. Yeah, I saw one of those big college football accounts yesterday say we're a sleeper pick to make the college football playoffs. Interesting take.
That account needs their whatever. They need to delete their account for tweeting that.
Dude,
respect.
You can't give me one. You can't. You
No.
can't only have one.
Okay. No, I cannot let you have that one. That one's
This
crazy.
is why I need you, Javon. Keep me honest. All right, hold me accountable here. W's. I can't be talking about Virginia Tech football. What are we doing this? All right, let's get back to business here. All right. We did King of the Board. We did the whole shebang, the recaps, the 18 smacks. People forget. What else before we dive into the Sharp Report? We played some 2K last night with Snelly. That was pretty cool.
Play some 2K with Snell. Yeah.
That was pretty cool. You
Shout
guys
out
picked any wins after I dipped?
We did. We ended on a win, shockingly.
Let's go.
Yeah, last win.
So maybe Trent. I was the problem a little bit.
I mean, Trent was saying Krabs might have been the problem, unfortunately.
Sure.
So,
well,
yeah. Trent was still shooting tour dates, but very good.
I'll take full blame for those atrocious games before. I did not have my best stuff out there. Lenbong did not have his fastball last night, to say the least. But you know what? I'm happy you guys got a win, and that was pretty cool to play some 2K with Blake Snell, former 2-time Cy Young winner. I'm sure one of your, favorite pitchers to watch growing up, at least when he was on the Rays. So pretty fucking cool, to sit back and see that and realize what just happened. Not a lot of people can say they played 2K with Blake Snell, and I hope chat enjoyed that at least a little bit. And Dilgod, questions need to be asked. Were the brights too light for Dilgods? Were the brights too light for Lenbong? And the answer short is yes. The lights were way too bright, and the performances were not great. Plain and simple. Javon, you showed out when the lights were brightest, and you've got ice in your veins. Okay,
I did all I could, man. Really did all I could.
You did. Dudes.
Can we talk about Arthur Smith being employed again?
Yeah, shout out the Steelers. That should be a good look. They're looking for something to bring some life to their offense. Who better than the guy who made Jonnu Smith pretty much the focus of their offense in Atlanta?
Yeah, I don't get it. It's like, can they bring in, the worst offensive minds ever to not help that Steelers team? But I don't know. At the end of the day, it's the Steelers, and they make the playoffs and have a winning record every season. So who am I to tell them that they're wrong and to scold their decisions? Because at the end of the day, they win games. I don't know. Is this fun? Is this a good hire? Does this look exciting? Does it make sense? No, but will it probably make sense at the end of the year when they're 9-8? Probably. Right?
It's just going to feel like another.
It's annoying, but it's true.
Just feels like they're going to win in spite of their offense again. Like it's not going to do anything for them. Like Jalen Warren should probably ask for a trade. Because I can guarantee he's going to get Bijan.
If you're Mike Tomlin and you somehow have a crystal ball or some sort of voodoo hex on the league where your team stinks, the worse they are, the better they end up, and the better record they have, are you making real changes to your game plan? Are you changing up your mojo? Are you changing up what you want to win with your defense here? With you somehow having the clear path to the playoffs and a winning record every single season? I wouldn't.
I would.
I wouldn't.
It's like you don't have to getting a good OC is not anything at expense of the defense. Like the defense is going to be there, but like when you have the Bengals, Ravens, and Browns and a healthy Browns coming into next season in your division, you are undoubtedly going to be the worst offense, and you are undoubtedly going to be the worst team, at least from the outset. And you're still coming in, even with 9 wins. That's the potential for the season. So you got to do something.
Yeah, I think they got to go out and get a new QB.
I mean,
say that.
It's the obvious. Yeah.
Yeah. I think until they get a new QB, nothing else really matters. They're still going to win with defense. Mike Tomlin is going to cast his magic spells and get his team into the playoffs with a winning record. He'll find a new way to do it this season, just like he does every year. It makes zero sense. It pisses me off to no end. Trust me. But the guy's a winner.
It's just like he just wants to make it hard on himself.
He wants to make it as difficult as possible. Straight up.
I forget what he was on. He was on some podcast or whatever. It might have been like the Matt Barnes podcast or whatever. He was like, I love the challenge of coaching, which is great. And it's cool. He's like, I want to coach up guys. Anybody who says that there's a locker room issue, not a coachable guy, they just don't want to be a coach. Sometimes you don't need to make it so difficult on yourself. Like he's such a great coach because he does that for a lot of his guys, but he also puts himself in position a lot of the times to have to be a superhero. It's like hiring Arthur Smith. You know damn well if you win, you're going to win in spite of him, which is ridiculous.
Yep. We will see how it plays out. Goots, unfortunately, it'll probably play out with a 9-8 record. So Welcome to Pittsburgh, Russell Wilson. Yeah, let's see where some of these QBs end up. Very, very curious. Very curious.
If I'm gonna, the Ravens have won the Super Bowl with 12 years apart, and next year is 12 years. So,
Good.
just letting you know.
Is that the only thing you've been telling yourself for the last 48 hours over and over again in your head?
That, and I just keep thinking about the Orioles now. So yeah, it's about it.
Yep. Goots, you better give us the goddamn best breakdown of the Baltimore Orioles come season time. You better be ready.
I'll be ready.
Okay. We'll be expecting it. All right, because you're already thinking about it. I'm excited for your Orioles too. And we're going to get at some games this year at Camden Yards as well. Have to. All right.
Fuck the Orioles.
Dude, the Orioles are fun. All right. I know you hate them. You're a Rays fan. I get it. So you don't have to like them. Everyone else does that.
I don't even hate them. I just don't want them to be good at the expense of the Rays.
There's no way anybody in chat can say they hate the Orioles. Not a single person on there hates the Orioles.
First time ever that the top prospect in the league is on the same team for 3 years straight.
Wow. Shit. Okay. Well, if only one of those guys was a pitcher, that would help.
Yeah.
You know? Man, I am so excited for baseball season. We are so close. We're so close. We're going to talk so much and do so many previews and pods, talking MLBs. We're going to get Peyote Pete's involved. We're going to get him ready. I know he's primed for a little MLB rebound season. I'm going to be telling Pete's plays this year. That's for sure, because he's coming back with revenge.
I was staring at some win totals, looking at some movement last night. I was locked.
I'll say this before we move on to the Sharp Report.
Oh, wow, you're in piss.
There's no fucking way.
You're in dog piss.
No. That's got to be fake.
Confirm, not fake. So who's the guy now?
I can't even speak because I know who it is. Because we saw him leaving the airport this morning. Not me physically, but on Twitter. No, it's not Vrabel. Think Vrabel, but way worse.
Oh, God.
Say his name.
Oh, God.
Say it.
Jesus.
Say it.
Actually, no way.
Say it.
There is
I swear to God,
no way.
If we bring in Dan Quinn, after letting go of Ron Rivera, I don't know if I can do it.
Oh, my God, bro.
I don't know if I can do it. Straight up. I don't know if I have it in me. It's been a really tough 25 years. Look, and I don't count the first, 10-ish. I don't have fucking memories before then of this team. It's been a really tough 15 years being a fan of this team. And that would just be a slap in the face bringing Dan Quinn over here, man. Look, let's make some calls. Let's hit up McDonald and let's get him over here from Baltimore. He wants to get out of there anyways.
You cannot have him. He's staying, man.
Well, rumor has it we want him, and I do too. If I was a GM, I'd be bringing him over. Yep.
Dude,
we'll see. I don't know if we're smart enough to do that.
I mean, if they were smart, Mike Vrabel would be there in 2 seconds.
Mike Vrabel ain't coming to DC, bro.
I know. I've never really thought like it's a serious possibility that he would be there, but that's the obvious. I think that should be the hire that makes the most sense. I think it makes even more sense in the game.
Nobody who's seasoned in their careers and is feeling good about themselves like that is coming to DC. Like Dan Quinn, nobody believes he can be a head coach because we saw how much he melted when he was. Bring back Ron. Jesus Christ, Jocko. Oh. We're going to get one of these young guys who needs to prove themselves and show the world that they can be a head coach. And I thought this was going to be the guy. I've talked about it for the last 2 weeks. I want McDonald's, but it hasn't seemed like we've been pursuing him that much. Maybe now we will.
You're saying the Commanders need an offensive coach. A, there really isn't one if Ben Johnson's not available. But B, they need an organizational change guy, which is, that's Mike Vrabel at heart. It's like that's the thing that I look at it and I see the Commanders have a very obvious hire that's left on the board if it isn't Ben Johnson. And they surely ain't doing it.
This is an interesting name who's coached here before, who's been picking up steam throughout the market for not just us, but for everywhere.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been a little more prominent at this point if that was a real possibility. Like you'd be seeing Slowik rumors, which they briefly were a thing like at the start of the search, end of the season, but you haven't heard shit since, which concerns me.
Maybe they'll bring Jay Gruden back. That could change the culture.
Yeah, that would be huge. Get RG3 back too.
Oh, man. Sure. Why not? Okay. Man, this team. I wouldn't wish being a fan of this team on my worst enemy. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. All right, we got Ron Mux Clan giving subbies. What's up, Ron? Hope you're doing well, my man. Happy Tuesday. Hope you didn't nuke the squad ride yesterday. Let's bounce back today with the winner, Ron. Okay. W's. Let's move. Let's groove, Javon. We got to hop to some bets for the people. All right. We're tweaking the sharp report around a little bit here. Nothing crazy. But what we're doing, chat, we don't want to keep ourselves pigeonholed into, a favorite, an underdog, an over and under. Especially for me, I'm typically, anti-G unit. I'm more of a sides guy instead of totals. So I like doing this better, just giving you guys winners, 4 of our best bets of the day, and then a prize pick square that we are in love with. Okay, every single day, we're just revamping the sharp report here for you, keeping it simple. All right, no crazy changes, just a small little tweak, giving you guys more winners. I think we will this way because now I can just give you guys my favorite 4 plays instead of forcing one of each, like Noah's Ark. Okay, I think you guys are in on this method. I sure as hell am. I know Javon is too. Why don't I get it kicked off and start it off with fading UNC once again? God damn it. Give me Georgia Tech plus 9.5. I locked it in last night as soon as the line came out, and now it's down to 8.5. Sure, still like that number. No stress. Okay, they're either going to cover and lose this game by a couple, or it's going to be a blowout. So don't worry about what number you get. Just get good odds. Okay, because it's either going to be an easy cover, or they're going to get absolutely blown out and wipe the floor with. Okay, I'm going to keep fading UNC until they don't cover, or I have nothing. Plain and simple. And Georgia Tech, not a great team here. And the camera is absolutely gassed. I don't know what that's about. But Georgia Tech is the play here because I'm fading UNC every single time until they don't cover. System play. Javon, what do you like about Kansas State, brother?
Yeah, so Kansas State, they're an unranked favorite against or unranked home favorite against a ranked home or road underdog. That's not what I like it, or why I like it, because I don't think the line is really weird whatsoever. I don't really buy into that system for this game. I think these teams are relatively even, but I think Kansas State matches up really, really well with Oklahoma. So, Oklahoma hasn't been good on the road, period, but Kansas State, a team, when you face Oklahoma, you want a team that has size at the 3 and the 4 and the very versatile guys, which like Arthur Kaluma is a pretty prime example of that. I think he's a matchup disaster for a lot of the smaller Kansas State defenders that are going to be on him. So I think at every level, especially with the defense that we're going to see from Kansas State at home, where they've been significantly better, of course, too, I think they're a problem for an Oklahoma team. And for Kansas State, like as long as you have a team that's not going to force you to win with guard play, because Cam Carter and Tyler Perry are ridiculously inconsistent and they shoot toward it seems like every single game, they match up pretty well. So I think a team with, I don't want to say no interior presence, but one that kind of rivals Kansas State's and is very similar, except they're not as versatile as a team that I want my money on, and a matchup that I want my money on.
I'm with you. I like this play. I will be on the Wildcats at home with you, Javon. Good looks. Probably would have snagged that myself if I didn't see it on your best bets already. Good pick. I'm with you. I'm not expecting you to be on this pick with me, though, because it's not for the faint of heart. All right. Look, it's around that time of the season where I notice people getting pissed about my picks because I'm taking shit teams like Ohio State who have cost people so many coins. They start to hate the school and everything about it. And I don't blame them. This Ohio State team, after a hot start this year, I started asking myself, are we finally going to get an Ohio State team to do something when nobody expects it most? After the last 5 years of us waiting for this team to be good with a stud on their team pretty much every season and no good results to come out of it. Their coach is a bozo. They're lazy. They give up at the end of games. They can't shoot, right? These are all things we know about Ohio State. There's huge red flags about this team and program. But for some reason, I don't know what it is. Maybe the odds makers all went there. Maybe the odds makers are, big Michigan fans or something, and they're, fucking with all the Ohio State fans and making them lose all their money on all these sharp lines. I don't know what it is, but something's up. And either this Ohio State team is going to turn into a top 25 team down the stretch, or they're just going to continue to steal my coins. And I'm willing to take that risk here. So give me the points at home. All right, system play. I'll leave it at that. But Ohio State, 13-7 at home, getting a couple against an Illinois team who down the stretch I do want to fade, especially on the roads. Crazy atmosphere, chirping Terrence Shannon from the crowd as they should. Hopefully we'll get to him. I know he didn't look as sharp on the roads the last week or two, but Illinois has still been able to pull out some wins. this is going to be a tough spot against a physical Ohio State team that'll be able to throw some bows in the paint. Zed Key coming off an atrocious game. I know he's their glue guy, expecting him to bounce back and have a big performance at home. We know this team does shoot a little bit better at home. They cannot shoot worse than their last game. I'm going back to Ohio State one more time. Give me the points.
Yeah, I can respect it.
Yeah. Ohio State, hold on one sec, bro. Ohio State has a team full of linebackers. I mean, yeah, one of the players' dads literally played linebacker in the NFL for like 10 years. I'm forgetting the guy's last name. But yeah, they're linebackers. They're physical, they're tough, but that's the kind of team I want to be betting on at home against an Illinois squad throwing some bows in the paint. Come on, be physical, win that way.
It's bend, don't break with a UNC fade and an Ohio State fade when I guess everybody's finally deciding that they're out and they're done. So, I mean, I definitely can get with both of those. At least one of them's hit.
This might be one of the nastiest cards you'll see ever.
Yeah, it might be. And I can't say Boston College is probably not a little bit nastier as they're -4 at home after what happened in Syracuse, and I forget what it's called now, but the former Carrier Dome. That was the best defensive performance I think I've seen, not just on Quentin Post, but also on, main guard and Jaden Zachary. You want to know how many points Quentin Post and Jaden Zachary combined for in that game, which are Quentin Post leading scorer for BC, and then Zachary, I think he's 3 to Claudel Harris at 2. You want to know how many points they combined for in that game?
12.
0.
Okay.
On a combined 0 for 11 from the 4, which a lot of that, at least for Quentin Post, he got into some foul trouble late, but really early they were just pressuring him on the pick and roll. They didn't allow a pop. They didn't allow – really they're pressing up on him past the perimeter and not allowing him really to get any penetration when he did get the ball. No driving, no nothing. So he was out of his element. Devin McLaughlin was really the entire offense. They scored 59 points. So now I think they're going to have a little bit better of an approach because they're kind of shell-shocked in that game, especially on the road. And for teams that have done really well at defending those two guys, they come back with kind of usually make an in-game adjustment, but now they've had a whole game to sit on it. It's going to be a whole different kind of approach from them. I think it's Claudel Harris is going to be running the offense a little more. There you go, Krabs. Claudel Harris a little more in the pick and roll, and I think Quentin Post is going to play a little bit more on the inside, and McLaughlin's going to be able to play on the outside and facilitate a little more like Quentin Post usually does. So I think there's a reason that Syracuse was this number, -4 at home, and they held BC to 59 points, and now the line is flipped when everybody knows, BC fans included, they always show you some hope in Syracuse. It's always some heartbreaking loss where they show a little bit of hope. So I think they pull it out. I think this number's pretty telling given what happened in that last game.
I agree. And I like this play. I was looking earlier today to potentially pair this money line with something, but I don't hate the spread one bit, and that shit hits at home. Definitely some respect for Boston College after a terrible, terrible shooting performance. I'm with you. All right. Speaking of terrible, terrible shooting performances, let me take you to Villanova's because they're playing Marquette today, and they are a favorite. Javon, this must be the Twitter POD. I've seen this play probably a bazillion times today, roughly around that number, about a bazillion. Look, everyone's on Villanova. I can't even resist. I'll be honest with you. This does feel like yesterday's Virginia Tech, so I will not be sneak nuking this or making this, a POD 5U whale or anything like that. So this is a 1 unit. Have to play it, or else I'm not going to be able to sleep at night because it's one of the nastiest lines I've seen all season. Look, Villanova has been really struggling, Javon. It's still big name Villanova, right? Big brands, and people are expecting them to bounce back. They've showed flashes of being better early on this season, but recently it has been all bad for Villanova. I mean, they've lost 4 straight games in a row. It's been ugly, right? It's not like they've played bad teams that they've lost to. They've lost to teams who are probably better than them, at least, UConn and Marquette sure as heck are. But now they get a chance to get some revenge on a Marquette team they've already lost to this year by 13 on the roads. And you turn around, and now they're home, and the spread opens up a pick 'em. And now they're a favorites, Javon, in this spot, and they haven't beaten Marquette in years. I'm a little bit confused. I couldn't find any injury stuff, but maybe it has something to do with, Jay Wright showing up and saying enough is enough here. And I got to get involved in the program again and get the boys inspired. Maybe that's it. I don't know what's good with this line, Javon, but I cannot resist. Give me Villanova on the ML.
Yeah, I cannot blame you. Definitely is the Twitter POD, but if I had to go with one, obviously out of the 2 that are going to be somewhat popular today, it's definitely Kansas State, but I can go nowhere near fading Villanova, regardless of what people are taking there. So I'm with you.
That's fair.
Yeah, this is my one, not forcing it over just for the sake of it, but I like this over, and I'm going to wait to place it to see where the line settles. So I figured with the Hawks up to 5.5 in this game that somebody was going to be out, whether it was Anthony Davis or LeBron. Now the news just dropped that Anthony Davis is the one who's out. And this total opened 243, 243.5, and it's already up 5 points. So I assume maybe there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment now that Anthony Davis is ruled out, but I think that line movement with the spread with the Hawks, they already knew. So the fact this total is moving up without Anthony Davis, it is a system. I love to do that. And yes, it obviously makes a little bit of basketball sense. AD, one of the best defenders in the league, definitely the best interior presence for the Lakers, of course. So the Hawks are going to have whatever they want. If they're favored in this game, if they're going to win this game, God forbid they dominate this game, which I really don't think they are, it's going to be a shootout and they're going to score. So Lakers are on a little bit of a back-to-back on that weird blowout loss against the Rockets. So could be just a weird buy bad news spot with the Hawks that don't really cover numbers, but this total moving up without AD this high, I bet.
Yeah, that's weird. And I'm in, and you've been pretty sharp, knock on woods, with some of these weird NBA totals, especially the high overs that I've noticed recently in the last month or so. So I'm down to go back to the well and take that, and shit, that number's high. Okay. I wish we got involved in that freaking Houston and Lakers over yesterday, man. That total creeping up 6 points. That should have been a red flag. I know I brought it up to you, but let's keep that in mind going forwards. Like Houston at home, right? I'm not the biggest NBA guy, but even I know that they're defensive minded in games there at home or low scoring, right? Seeing that total go up 7 points, we should have been all over that.
Especially after pretty much every single total in the NBA otherwise was moving down, which was weird. Yeah, I thought about it for a second and didn't get there. And, I'd say 2020, but definitely should have gotten involved. I will with this one.
Dubs. Okay. Looks like Green Book took that game off the board completely. Okay. Keep us updated in the chat.
I want to see what it opens back up at, because really anything under the opening or over the opening number, I bet.
Okay. Still locking it in. That place.
Absolutely.
All right. Let me take you to Colorado State. This is a gross one. I'm not typically backing this team. I don't love this team. I like Isaiah Stevens. I've talked about him for years on this show, saying he's a pro and does not belong on that team, but respect for him for building up this program, staying there for 5 years, and now they got a shot, right? They're almost blowing that shot there right now. They've played pretty bad the last, better part of the last month, to be honest with you. They've really struggled after coming out of the gates on Fuego. They are coming off of maybe the worst loss in college basketball history. You could call it that. You could call it that straight up. I mean, they were up 13 points against Wyoming, not Duke, not UNC, not even the Hokies. Wyoming. No Hunter Maldonado in sight, even, Javon. This shit Wyoming team, if I may add. And Wyoming was down 13 points with 50 seconds left. And they came back in this game, Javon, and they won. And they beat Colorado State, crazier than the Miracle Minute for my OGs in chat who remember that game against Maryland a couple years ago, like 15 years ago. Crazier than the Miracle Minute. A 13-point comeback in 50 seconds. You're telling me, Javon, that Colorado State team has had good night's sleep the last couple of days? If I was on that team, my eyeballs wouldn't even fucking close. It'd be like that Squidward meme with his eyes like wide shut, like his bed. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to fucking sleep. I wouldn't be able to do anything until I have another basketball game where I can, prove to the world that I'm not that ass and rebound from the worst loss potentially in college basketball history. Okay. This is a complete emotional play. This is backing Colorado State and what's going on up here and right here. Nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with the shots. Nothing to do with the skill. And guys, I'll tell you what, capping that way will give you more success than just betting on what makes sense to you in your basketball brain with these guys' skill levels. So emotional play here. Give me Colorado State. Seeing them move up from -1 to -2.5 is a good sign against a really good San Diego State team. They win this game today.
Sure. I'm in. Absolutely in.
Let's go. I know Ref is in. That's the squads. Colorado State. Look, man, if they lose this game, their season's over. I'll be honest with you. After the great start they had, Javon, I mean, they were undefeated. They were ranked. They were looking like the best team in the Mountain West. Now there's 5 other teams who you could argue are looking way better than them right now. They might be the 6th best looking team right now in the Mountain West, which is crazy to think about. Crazy. Okay. Colorado State 10-1 at home. Storyline from Krabs is great and it fits the system. W. Antonio holding it down in the YouTube. I really appreciate that comment. Dubs. All right. Javon, Take me to Murray State. There's no way this is on your card after this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason why, but this is also one of the bigger, what the hell is this, line adjustments that I guess I've seen, which Illinois State beat them by 4 at home last time out, where Illinois State was a short favorite, and now Murray State, after the, torrential stretch they've been on, which they've lost 4 of 5 in those games. They really have looked god-awful and got clamped by some really good defenses too. Now they're -7.5. It's not even just like the worst team in that situation, the worst team in that game being favored by so much. But, the game's already happened. These teams looked relatively even, and Illinois State pulled out that game in a close one. And 7.5 now? I know Murray State gets a little bit of line respect. We've seen that time and time again. They've been, these 3.5, 4-point favorites on the road, or at home, I guess I should say. 7.5 is crazy. This is giving me Kansas State, Iowa State vibes, where they got that massive line at home, which, it was probably a little sweatier than it should have been. But, yeah, after they just really sold everybody, I guess for the last week, they've been in sharp spots a couple of times, and I've seen it all over Twitter. They're coming through today. That line stinks.
Yeah, it is. And, yeah, the fact that they've already lost to them this season, right? And you turn around and the spread is this fat with how bad they've been playing coming off of that loss. Are you kidding me? I'm all in. Give me Murray State. Talk about a good parlay piece as well. If you can find something with a little bit shorter odds, taking Murray State ML. If you're into that kind of thing, maybe Boston College, right? Yeah. That could be a pretty good 2-piece.
Little bozo pack.
Little bozo pack to take the edge off. Look, Patrick's already hip. He beat me to it. Interesting. Okay. Patrick, I like the way you think, brother. I think you're onto something here. Boston College, Murray State, moneyline parlay. That's calling my name. And thank you, Reeve Trees. Chat, over under 7.5. Ben Johnson stays with the Lions. The rest of BTL pissed me off today. I'm going to go with the over on that one, 100%. Everyone's going to be coming in telling me Ben Johnson's staying, and I'm an absolute piss because I'm going to be stuck with Dan Quinn and Eric Bieniemy. That should work, right?
Yeah.
That sounds a lot like Ron Rivera and Eric Bieniemy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just definitely does. A little bit.
All right, let's hop to Prize Pick Squares. Mine's going to be short and sweet, Javon. I went and faded the nasty square on the boards.
Before you say that, I have to say they just put up the Lakers-Hawks back on the book. The Hawks are up to 6, which seemed like maybe another half-point adjustment from AD. But guess where the total is, Krebs?
250? 248.5.
Same shit.
Same shit.
So just like the line move, they already knew.
Right.
And we're getting a 5-point jump with no AD up to, 248.5. Sure.
All right. That's crazy. You did just call that. All right. Let's hope that total creeps up even more after this news too. That'd be something.
Yeah, could be. I assume it already creeped up a little bit, so I don't know how much higher it's going to go, but yeah, it's in the same spot.
W's and W Trent for migrating everybody over here from the TikTok. If you're in here for the first time, all right, drop a follow, stay a while. We got hella follows coming in right now. Big World KT, Your Nanny, X Dilo, Jib, Cleegs coming in. We got Lenbong subbing. Love to see it, boys. Drop a follow, stay a while. If you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on YouTube, come over to the Book It Sports Twitch. All right, way more fun to chill in here with the squad and chat. Over 700 people in here. Trying to find some winners for today. All right, and we're going to do that for you. W follows. We got Matt Rayner coming in hot. JT Less coming in hot with some follows. W's, gents. Keep those follows coming. All right, keep those sub banks flowing and keep those questions in chat going. All right, W rhymes. Let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving here, Javon. Let me know what your favorite Prize Pick square of the day is as of right now.
As of right now, it's definitely Jordan Clarkson.
Good.
Which that just got out at the board, I think, right before we started, which is why I added it pretty late. So, the obvious answer is look at the square, but also they have the Knicks on a back-to-back after playing the Hornets, which that game was really, I don't want to say weird, but it got into a blowout early, and then they started to creep back in, and then it ended in a blowout again. They brought in the starters for really no reason at the end. So, really unsure of what that Knicks lineup is going to be without Julius Randle. I can tell you they gave up a lot more open looks from three than I've seen in that lineup previous times. The Hornets really, outside of, Brandon Miller and Cody Martin, really weren't hitting them. So we'll see what that bench unit looks like with Clarkson coming in. But I will be taking the square gladly because I think he's going to have plenty of looks in this game. And Why is it up? I don't really know. They've only put him up like a couple of times, which I've gotten involved in a couple of them, and it's looked relatively similar. We talked about the chart, and what do you know? It turns green. So I'm hoping he does it again.
Okay, this looks like a vintage Javon square that I can 100% get behind. Can we stop and think about Trent's airball last night? Oh my gosh. People forget. And guys, I was not joking when I said I've never seen an airball in that game on Night Sweats last night. I have never seen an airball in 2K. They don't do airballs. Okay, that ball clanks off the rim and goes typically to the defender, and not our team. That's usually how it rolls in 2K. But I've never seen an airball in my life. I feel like they've gotten rid of those in the game because it probably made kids feel bad, right, about sucking at the game. And they at least give everybody a chance to claim that puppy on the rim. But he literally got an airball last night. I still can't believe it.
It's crazy. Like you have
I've
to
never seen one
try.
before.
You have to try to mistime a shot that much to not.
It must be like a perfect, when you get a perfect at the top, it greens out and it swishes, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe it was a perfect on the bottom. Maybe that's how he got it. Maybe you have to earn it on the bottom.
He probably
probably
tapped it like just enough to not be a pump fake.
Oh man. And guys, trust me, I know a lot about airballs after my VCU performance. Okay. I shot plenty of them.
No way there's a clip.
Oh man.
Starts with him getting mixed on defense, sure.
What else is new? Yeah, we got to see this air ball, bro.
Dude.
Please. Oh, here it is.
Oh, I fucked up.
Oh, my.
Air ball? No.
Dude.
I've never seen one before.
Dude,
I've never seen one before.
Corner is crazy, too.
Not a soul in sight near him. Not a hand up in his zip code.
Might have been the most open shot I've ever seen. That's crazy.
You got to try. You got to try
crazy
to do that. I just hope. I mean, it's good you guys got to win after I left because maybe that'll bring Snell back. But goodness gracious, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Snell doesn't want to run in with the boys anymore. Let's hope he does that. Let's hope he does. That was a treat.
Doesn't like Trent's tour dates, man.
He's not liking Trent's tour dates.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Oh man, it was hilarious getting to listen to him just absolutely roasting Trent in the ear the entire time. Literally the entire game, he was just dragging Trent on the mic.
Yeah,
in the party, it was unbelievable. We got Vladdy on the cover officially.
Dude, that's
as if they weren't cursed enough already. Nice.
Why is he on the cover?
What did Toronto do last year to put him on the cover? I feel like he had his worst season yet.
I mean, what did he do? Like he wasn't even good.
I don't know, man.
They definitely. That sounds like a decision that was made before the season played out. Because there's no shot after last season. They just said, "All right, face of baseball." With the way he played the season, like Vladdy's the guy.
Imagine waking up being POD Pete and seeing this.
Yeah, that's cake.
That's crazy.
That's such cake. But nobody expects it this year, too. Like, no chance Vladdy or any Blue Jays are on the cover after last year, right? Their worst season ever. And then Vladdy goes up there.
How do you not put Shohei on the fucking cover?
It makes no sense.
He was just on the cover, right?
I
think he was on
put him on there again.
Dude, put Seager on there. Like something. Dude, put somebody on there that actually did something worth the shit.
Put Lane Thomas on there,
Low key. Put Lane Thomas, Drew Waters, put someone on there. Put Will Benson on the cover, man. Put Ellie De La Dog Meat front and center.
Drew Waters on the cover.
Put Bobby Witt on there.
Yeah, okay. Bobby Witt. That's like a legit.
Somebody who actually played well and respects coins. How about that?
Yeah. Unreal.
Unbelievable. Trent W's. I heard you guys got a win last night with Snell, so maybe he'll come back and return the favor. That's good.
Yeah. I'm so mad, dude. We just spent all morning setting up, connecting our TikTok with the StreamYard, and we got it to work. And I was so fucking hyped. Talked sports betting for 5 minutes and got banned.
Are you serious?
No shots.
Yeah.
Bro.
What?
I'm not banned from TikTok. I'm just banned from going live for like a couple days. But so stupid. Just when I got it to work.
That's actually
off of yours or off of the Book It account?
Off mine. Oh, we could try Book It.
Yeah, let's use the Book It account then.
That's so weird, though.
So dumb.
I just ripped that yesterday for like an hour and had no qualms. Although you got more people in there, but
I shared my screen and the lines were pulled up, so that might have been it.
I
But
wonder if that was it. That's weird. Okay. No screen sharing? Fuck. All right.
Those-
We'll figure that out, though. We'll figure that out.
You got a POD for the slate today?
I like Air Force.
Air Force. Javon, what are your thoughts on Air Force, your favorite team?
I mean, I don't like it, but that probably means it's gonna hit. The only reason I don't like it is because Wyoming is 0-7 on the road.
Yeah.
So, like-
and honestly, Blake Snell should be on the cover of 2K. If we're talking about who should be on
He
that
should.
cover,
You
it should
should
be Snell.
put him
After
on the
last year.
show. Put him on the show cover, man. Matt
So
Wallner
you're
on the
taking
cover.
Air Force, Trent, huh? Against Wyoming, coming off the greatest comeback, the greatest upsets probably in college basketball history when they came down 13 points with 50 seconds left.
Oh my
against Colorado
God,
State
that was the game,
Oh, you can at least act like you knew that. Yeah.
dude.
That was the game.
I totally forgot that happened. What was that, last week?
This
Yeah.
weekend.
Wow.
Not
It was,
too long
it was
ago.
the last game.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, it was
It's the
nuts.
first game coming off of Wyoming, making probably the greatest comeback in college basketball history, at least since I remember it.
Dude, yeah.
Great fade spot.
If Wyoming had won on the road, just like one game, I would put my Air Force opinions aside and I would take them today.
Are they over on the road?
Yep, 0-7.
Bruh.
Which is, I mean, every time I've faded or bought into a spot like that, I've lost in the last couple weeks. So I'm staying off because if I'm betting Air Force, the stars have to align. That has to be like the magical spot. And if there's one thing that's off, I'm good. I'll let everybody else eat. So
Yeah.
I hope,
To
I
be
hope
fair,
Trent-
we don't. Javon, we don't want you on Air Force today, brother.
I know you don't.
Javon hated fucking Pine Bluff. Told them they'd win outright. They won by
I
20.
literally tailed it. I did not say there was an issue with it one time. Literally not once.
That was so fucking sharp.
That was surge.
Yes, it was. I mean, Trent, if this Air Force bet hits, people are going to start asking questions. I want you to know that. There might be some media showing up. There might be some people outside.
They might be trying to say, they might be saying that you stole it from Bender Wins Cardigan.
Ooh. Are you taking him from Bender? I know you've been watching all his YouTube videos front to back for 7 hours.
I mean, he's got the Rari in the fucking garage.
At the Rari.
sure.
Sure.
Yeah, BYU plus 2.5 too.
W Pine Bluff. People forget about that play.
People do
W's.
forget about that.
Is Trent a neck sharp? People are
Might
starting
just
to
be
ask.
might just be a Mary Mac Sharp.
I love the neck,
Okay.
dude.
GG's. And now let's talk about some actual bets.
Jeez.
Let's lock in, folks. Perfect segue.
Got
Okay.
Jake Cole in chat, man.
Wow, that could be him.
Thomas.
But yes, Rob Thomas, less than half an assist is my favorite prize pick square of the day. That should hit. Nasty play. It's not just that fade. I did look at this game and I saw that St. Louis is on Fuego right now and that line's coming down a little bit. So I
Dude.
would not expect St. Louis to win this game. I mean, they've been on fire and scored plenty of goals. So let's go ahead and fade Rob Thomas and go about our day.
Bro, I literally don't hate a team more in sports than the
Blues.
St. Louis Blues.
Yeah.
I
don't blame
fucking despise them.
Yeah, let's fade
We're
this guy.
on, we're on 4 games in a row now. They have won
In
all
overtime.
all as underdogs, not just in overtime. The last 3 were in overtime, 3 of the 4, but 4 games in a row, they have won exactly 4-3 as underdogs in every single game.
They're losing today.
Ooh. You want
I
to
can
fade
tell
them
you.
on the book straight up? Okay.
Somebody, I think if you take CBJ and you take the Sharks, one of them's winning.
For sure. Dude,
I mean,
CBJ,
yeah, Seattle's playing too.
CBJ has been playing with heart.
Yeah. I mean, not just because it's a 2-game slate. I don't know if there's a collection of 4 teams that I would like to bet on less than
Less.
these 4
Yeah,
teams.
these are the weirdest teams ever.
These
Even
are
I
not-
did that.
Switch
No,
from
it's not.
Kraken with the Flyers, and it would be perfect for 4
Mm.
for 4.
No, the Flyers are fun now because the Flyers are fun to fade because they're once
Mm.
Tippett got hurt, they are ass. They can't do anything. They've just been fade
Man.
candidates for 2 weeks.
So, Javon, now that we're here with the Hockeys, you concur with Trent here? You think, Columbus is a live dog, and you're even saying if you take them and you take the Sharks, you might be in business here going 1-1 up coins.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking an underdog's winning in the slate. So, I mean, I
Okay.
don't really have any hockey reasoning outside of that other than CBJ is just they've been playing a super scrappy style hockey, like more physical than you would expect, which the Blues, that's what they've kind of been thriving off of the past couple weeks. So one of these games is going to get weird.
All right. If you really need some coins, maybe you sit out the first game, see how it goes. And if, Columbus ends up losing that one, you go all in on San Jose game 2. I don't know. That's probably a more conservative approach, but
I did see this too. I mean, not that he hasn't been, I don't want to say disappointing, but I expected a little more from Adam Fantilli for CBJ. He's out and the line is continuing to move their way. A little surprising. I don't know how much you would move the line in theory, but yeah, I mean, the Blues usually don't get line respect. I expected probably a little more against CBJ, but I don't know. It might get weird.
Okay. Well, yeah, not much to go over in the NHL today. Only 2 games. I know the All-Star break's coming up soon. That's what Fruity was saying last night. So I think there's only a couple games left. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Take the dogs and go about your day and fade that Rob Thomas assist square on Prize Picks.
Except, I mean, I don't know. Mile High doesn't like it. I don't know how many hockey squad rides we have lost because those are all my plays. But we can go back and look at that. Not many else.
Rob Thomas, less than half an assist. Looks like probably the nastiest square on the board. As of right now, it's the most popular hockey square on the board. And I'll tell you right now, it's not because people are taking his less than until we strike chat. So go ahead and hop in on this. All right. Guys, if bets like this hit on the more thans, Vegas wouldn't look like it does. Plain and simple. More often than not. I'm not saying it's 100% accuracy, but you cannot be taking the more than on this square.
Jamie Ray with the sub. Well,
Jamie's.
Let's go, Jamie.
Goat.
W's. Jamie's been telling me he wants to come on and pitch a play on Surge Stream soon. Jamie, let me know when you want to come on. We'll send you the link. Okay. W Jamie always getting the chat right with some subbies. Love to see that. We got hella heads in here. W's probably from Trent bringing over everyone from the live. So appreciate that, my man. But chat, not too much hockey today, but we gave you the breakdown. Let's hop back to college basketball. We have work to do. Okay. We have plenty of good games today. Super Tuesday, Javon. We can start out with South Carolina and Tennessee. Fat line. I mean, Tennessee is the better squad and South Carolina is fraudulent, but as far as the public goes, this line's pretty big, huh?
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing probably a little more Tennessee than I initially thought we'd see today, but I'm still perfectly cool with it. Anytime we've seen these significant lines, which Tennessee is taking care of business at home against a lot of teams by wide margins, but anytime we've seen these massive lines with Tennessee at home facing a team that needs to be brought down to reality, they've done it the last couple of times. So we'll gladly get involved with the total moving down too in this game. I think this is where one of the best defenses in the SEC shows another one that there's levels to this. So I'm in.
Yeah, I also would not mind a South Carolina team total under in this game. That total is still creeping down about a point and a half from that opener. So it's already low. And with that fat spread, a good sign for Tennessee in this spot. I'm TBD on if I'm laying Tennessee or if I'm going to take that South Carolina team total under. So stay posted, guys. That play will be posted on my Picket. You guys know where to find me. All right, follow me at Krabs on Picket. It's been a great month. Knock on wood. Let's keep moving and grooving and cashing. All right. Dead Larry Bird, my local resident sharp. Isn't that spread a little fat, my man? That is a large spread against a public darling South Carolina, who I don't think is very good, but their record is.
Dude,
this might be a rare disagreement with Dead Larry Bird.
We can't be taking plays like this, brother.
No, please don't. Please don't. The only time you should ever take a grease piece is on a money line if you think in your nads that team is winning. If you know in your nads that team is winning. No grease piece in teasers, especially with underdogs. You should never grease piece a teaser like that. That made my head hurt. Okay, no more of those. No more. It's not big. Tennessee has won every home game by 1,000 points. That is true, but South Carolina, has a better record than Tennessee, dudes. South Carolina's been a wagon this season. They're one of the best teams, ATS. They've been unbelievable.
Also, just beat Kentucky.
They're 15-5 ATS. They are on a crazy streak right now, coming off of wins against Mizzou, Arkansas, Kentucky, Mizzou again. They are absolutely cracked down. Besides that loss to Georgia, they've been nearly perfect recently. And that spread is large. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Interesting pushback on that game. I was not expecting that. That's okay, though. We're not all going to agree in every single play, but
I needed to hear some pushback there because I was getting a little concerned that the Tennessee love was a little too much.
Okay, well, there we go. We roll with the Vols at home. And look, that spread is cursed -112 on Green Book for South Carolina as well. Great sign. Georgia Tech and UNC. Sure. Looks like this one is down. Looks like the spread is down to 8.5 in this game. Open up at 9.5. That's where I got it last night for a unit. But like I said, going over the Sharp Report and our best bets, I'm addicted and obsessed with fading UNC, and I will not quit. I will not give up until I see a victory. Plain and simple. We almost got one this weekend. It was a push. It was a tease, and I'm not giving up. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Give me Georgia Tech at home when they should be plus 12.5. They're down to plus 8.5 with no bets on them. But decent amount of handle coming off of 3 straight losses when they just got emasculated by my Hokies, who have proven that they're not that guy, pal, right? And they just lost to them 67-91 on the road, Javon. Now they get to come home and reset here with one last chance to get a big-time win and hand UNC their first loss in the ACC this season. Okay, this team is unbelievable. UNC almost always destroys Georgia Tech too, so it's not like a Duke VT weird line where they have success against this good team at home, right? Kind of weird seeing the spread continue to move down, and I'm in love with it. I hope it keeps cooking. It goes to 7.5. Give me the points. Chat, bet this before it gets any lower. All right, I would not wait on this puppy. We got Azuna from the Braves coming in, resubbing. Krabs and Javon deep in their bags. You're goddamn right, Azuna. You are right. So we got Rampage coming in hot. Wow, haven't been in Twitch in forever. 19 months is crazy. W Rampage, welcome back. All right, we kept your seat for you. No stress. Welcome back to the show. All right. Hype Train has just started, folks. If you guys are making coins from watching BTL or hanging out in here in chats, drop some subs for the people. You know they need them. They're starving for them. Okay. Javon, what about Villanova? Are you going to get to the counter with them?
I might. I'm pretty undecided.
Okay.
I feel like your level of confidence is making me in, but I also just really love Kansas State, and not because they're just the unranked favorite. So that's the only reason I'm really having second thoughts. Not that it's just the Twitter POD.
I mean, look, 2 reasons why I'm not laying a 5U whale on Villanova today. Villanova's big name still carries weight in these lines. They have all season. They have last year too. I'm no fool. Okay, I've read these lines since Jay Wright has left, and they are still sharper than they should be with the players they have out there on the courts and their head coach, who still is trying to figure out how to be a head coach. And that's pretty clear. If people haven't figured that out, they might have some issues at head coach, and that might be why Jay Wright, is getting involved again with the program. They might need him to be. He might have to save them, okay, because he's thinking right now, what have I done? Leaving these guys with Neptune. No bueno, okay? And Marquette always covers, and they never get line respect. So does that scare me a little bit? Yes, it for sure does, but I cannot resist and stay off this bet. If I don't take Villanova, I know they're going to win, and I will regret it. So give me Nova on the ML for one responsible unit, no sneak nukes, no fluke shit, and we go about our day. They're coming off of some atrocious games, but we know they play much better at home, and they have a chance to pull off their biggest win of the season when they need it most against Marquette.
Devil's advocate, because another spot that is, like I said, been burning me a lot lately. Marquette is god awful on the road, which is like, I'll tell you what, this is giving me slight vibes of a little different, because I think it's maybe a little weirder line wise, but this is giving me Duke vibes from last night, where it's very well known how bad they are away from home, and they're playing a team that's also good at home, and everybody knows and gets a lot of line respect, period. So that's what's scaring me off a little bit too.
They are 3-3. Looks like on the road. That can't be right though. Have they only played 6 road games this year? Maybe that is right.
They played a lot of neutral site games and non-cons. They're in like 2 different tournaments.
You're right. So that could be right. Yeah, they're 3-3 on the road. Okay. Not great. But I cannot resist. Give me Nova here at home. Let's hope Jay Wright showing up to practice this week kicks the boys into gear. All right. Any G-Dub and Dayton thoughts, Javon? Pretty darn good game. I wish I had a bet in this one, but curious to hear your thoughts.
I mean, I got to say, for a Dayton team that is usually on the opposite of sharp spots and doesn't get much line respect, seeing them get it now against a GW team is pretty interesting, I would say. Even like another line has moved down a little bit since the open, but opened 14.5, which I thought was massive, especially compared to the lack of respect we've seen Dayton get for the past couple of weeks, which is why it's been sharp to fade him. It hasn't really been working. So I definitely think this is finally a Dayton respect spot where they're just going to beat the shit out of George Washington.
Yeah, it seems like George Washington's fairy tale story might be over, unfortunately, after a great start to the year. They've lost 3 in a row. 1 or 2 of those is excusable. I guess the Richmond one, and I guess UMass on the road is a tough place to play, but G-Dubs this season I thought would get a win there. But then the LaSalle loss at home is inexcusable by 10 points, and that's their most recent loss. So I'm not dying to fade this team after 3 bad losses, but I'm sure as heck not taking them against Dayton when they opened up minus 14.5 on that spread. Are you kidding me?
Coming off a loss.
That's fact.
Too.
I know. Coming off their
this
first
weekend
loss
on the road. Yeah, their
Yep.
first loss in a bit. So this feels like a bounce back spot and a half.
And I don't know if you remember, but the last time these guys played last season, G-Dub actually beat them as +9 underdogs.
Yep.
So interesting move. I saw James Bishop, his prize pick square got bumped down his points. We know teams have been double covering him and having great success of slowing down this offense. So I would not be surprised if this very athletic Dayton team does that and find success with that tonight. And James Bishop goes under his 15 points, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sorry, Goods.
First time in a while. Might be
yeah.
the first time in a while I'm back in Dayton.
You kind of mushed GW because you said they might win the A10, and then after that, it's been moose.
They've been atrocious, Skits. You're 100% right. W reminder. I'm always biased. I really like watching GW. I go to a game every year almost. It's right up the streets, and they are fun. They've had really good players there recently. So I think I'm a little bit biased with this team. I try not to bet them that much. But I would love to see them break through. They just never really have bigs. And, last year they had Brendan Adams to pair with James Bishop, and you couldn't double cover both those guys. Like Brendan Adams is legit. He got a chance in the G League. I don't know what he's doing now, but he's an NBA type caliber offensive player. Now they only got one guy, and teams have figured out how to slow him down. And the last 3 games, it's been tough for them to score. Plain and simple. Stinks.
W Arena, though. It's a nice spot.
Oh, sick arena. Yeah, very cool. Very cool spot. All right, let's keep moving. Ohio State's getting 3 points against Illinois. Javon, I'm doing it again. I already sold it for the best bets, but are you going to get to the counter with Ohio State today?
Yeah, I'll let you eat on that one. But
Okay.
I certainly get to play and respect that one.
Thanks. I appreciate it, man. All right. Tell me about your Frogs. That's the game we need to know about.
Well, first of all, they're ranked now. So put these 2 games this week in a vacuum where they're playing Texas Tech and Texas at home. Play Texas Tech and Texas on the ML. I guarantee you profit because TCU is not going 2-0 this week. So in this little week, I can tell you they're dropping a game. I hope it's this one because I think we're going to be going to the Texas game, and that's the one with last crack at them in Fort Worth that I certainly do not want to lose. But today I'm kind of torn. This feels like a TCU win and no cover spot. These games are always close, especially when they're in Fort Worth, and I think Texas Tech is one of those underrated teams in the Big 12 like we've been talking about, and they've been one of the few teams that's been like really respectable on the road in a couple spots. And as a Texas Tech backer, I'd be a little nervous that they're coming off of a win on the road against Oklahoma, which that's probably one of the easier places to play in the Big 12. It's a weird big arena that never really fills up, but they are going to have Pop Isaacs do everything today, and he's going to have to. So that's the one spot that you're getting into a little bit of variance with. I think he's going to have to take over in this game, which he's been. And I think the 2 times he played them last year, he was either shooting, 0 from the field pretty much the entire game, or he looked like the greatest basketball player of all time. So it's going to be no in between. And I think he's going to get plenty of shots up. So I think this smells like a game that goes down to the last possession. And I'm not really sure who wins it, but I definitely lean Texas Tech plus the points.
Javon, man, look, I consider myself pretty good at this whole sports betting thing. I never really have confidence issues. You're pretty good as well. The one thing I am jealous of that you do a great job, it's talking about this TCU team and having a level head and really giving out good picks and good reads with the squad. And I know we're fucked today. Please don't nuke this bet because I completely just jinxed it. Knock on wood. But you do a really good job of talking about this TCU team. And most importantly, my point is giving out winners. Like the last game when we talked about that over. And then I looked at that total and it went down another 6 points. And I'm like, what the hell is Javon talking about? This fucking
I don't know.
I don't know
how many times.
297, right?
Yeah. Granted, I mean, it triple OT, so it didn't soar over, but it did go over in regulation. But like, that's the only, I think it's the only time I've faded a line move that large, just because they figure out how to score, which good point by B Camp talking about that game. They just have triple OT and, not long of a day's rest coming from that game. So Texas Tech, I think, is even on the road, like a little more physical than I think a lot of people realize because they're small, especially at the guard position, so you don't really see it. But I think they're going to give TCU trouble scoring today, at least in the beginning of the game. This is why we see this total. Look what it's doing. It's down quite a bit from the open. It's down to 145 now. So I think this is going to be one of those games where you see a TCU scoring drought pretty early, and Texas Tech comes out and punches them in the mouth.
Okay. Interesting. Well, there's Javon's read on his Frogs, and I agree with you. I concur. I think they will lose one of these two games this week. I don't know. I have a weird feeling the Frogs do win today, and then the game you go to on Saturday, they're probably going to blow it because you'll be boots on ground.
They blow it. If you want to hear the fan talking to me, they blow every game that's significantly hyped up. Like they do this every year, which they already had one against Iowa State. That was like it was the weather game, so they had off classes, they had a blackout, they had everything. They gave away shit, and they came out and they had 18 turnovers in the first half. So I can guarantee you Texas, last shot at them in that stadium, because they're probably not going to play them anymore, even in non-conference. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, that's facts. Giote, you better be on your best behavior. My man, you better be good. All right? You got to limit the beer consumptions. If they even sell those at the TCU games, I don't even know if they do.
Oh, they do now. Yeah.
Hey, W's. Moving up in the world. All right. Let's keep powering through. We only have about 20 minutes here, Javon, and definitely want to briefly talk about some NBA, just in case we got some winners over there. So let's power through this slate. If you have plays, let Goots know to slow down. But we got to keep moving and grooving here. Iowa, Indiana, probably worth talking about here for a second. It's not every day you see, a team pretty evenly skilled to Indiana as a favorite, especially with the line moving that way from a pick'em in this game. I already was confused by that Indiana line at a pick'em when it opened, and now Iowa seeing them up to minus 125 on the money line and up to minus 1.5 on the spread definitely makes me lean that way. But I've learned better than to fade Indiana at Assembly Hall, so I am off. Just a lean.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. It feels like an Iowa spot. I don't love fading Big Ten teams at home, which, if we're talking being honest, that hasn't been the hardest conference to win a road game in. The Pac-12 and the Big 12, I think, take those by the numbers. But, yeah, it feels like an Iowa spot. And even though we see totals this high with Iowa pretty frequently, I feel like a 160.5 at Assembly Hall is pretty telling. I would have expected something at least maybe like high 150s or mid 150s, but 160.5, that feels like a strong offensive lean for Iowa. So I definitely think they're going to do whatever they want. Basketball wise, I think it makes sense too. They're going to destroy them on the perimeter. We've seen that with Indiana for a couple weeks now. They're bad there.
Yeah, they are. One of my rules, and I have very few, that don't allow me to send bets pretty much, and this is like one of the handful of them, is fading Indiana at Assembly Hall. It just doesn't work.
I would love.
Doesn't matter who's playing.
I think I want to take that over though.
Okay, yeah, let's take points then.
Yeah,
I could get down with that, but I just cannot lock in. I've done it too much. I've been hurt. Indiana was just 0 for 8 from 3 against Illinois. Now the total's at 160. Yep, good, Balla. W points. Yeah. Definitely looking like that total's a little high. I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah, it's an Iowa total, but in Assembly Hall, somebody's got to do it.
Indiana doesn't have a Ware. Line is only 1.5. That's a great point too, Deesh. If they got no Kalel Ware, that definitely makes that line make an incredible amount more sense. Okay. All right. And honestly, that might make them speed up the tempo a little bit more if they don't have his big body out there on the floor. Might be more points. Basketball brain, right? Okay. You like Boston College. We've already went over that one. I really want to talk about VCU and St. Bon with you. Two teams on the come up right now, I'd say, in the A10. I guess St. Bonaventure kind of struggled a little bit over the last 2 weeks, but they did get that big time win against Joe's, keeping them involved, keeping them in it this season. VCU, though, on the other hand, I mean, they are absolutely firing on all cylinders. As soon as I went down there and missed all those shots and looked like a fool, it seems like they learned from that. And they're starting to put the ball in the basket at this point. VCU playing their best ball of the season on a crazy 5-game bender, 5-game ATS bender, just destroying every team in their path. And I know they got to go on the road here to a St. Bonaventure team that owns them, Javon, and I'm not typically loving to fade them in this spot. But the Bonnies are coming off a win. The Bonnies did already beat VCU at VCU as +5 dogs outright by more than 10 points this season, only a few weeks ago, Javon. And now we look, and this line is only at -3.5 at home after they already beat them by 11. gosh, I want to square up and use my basketball brain here and back VCU and the Rams on the road, which I almost never do, because right now they're looking like the best team in the A-10.
I mean, in my brain, that feels like a fair adjustment, right? 8 points, I would think.
I mean, after they beat them outright by 11 points.
Well, they were 4-point dogs in that game, or 5-point dogs in that game. So
they were 5-point dogs.
Yeah, 9-point adjustment. That feels kind of fair, I would say. At least coming back home.
See what they're at in the Ken Palms.
You know what
Papa Ken's got to say.
You know what catches my eye in this game, if we're talking about adjustments, that there was none on the total. After that game was 89-78, which for the people in chat who can do math, 165 on a 138 total in that game. And the line is exactly where it is. And what the teams, I don't know, they went to the free throw line 45 combined times. Not crazy numbers, but a lot of second chance points in that game, which a lot of them came from the Bonnies. So, I mean, that total being right where it was in the first game, that probably tells me as much as anything.
And that's a good sign for VCU.
I
will say, because if this game goes over, it's got to be the Bonnies, right? We saw what they just did with St. Joe's. They like to run. They got no problems putting up points, shooting a lot, running. VCU, on the other hand, their defense is starting to clamp up. I'm not saying their offense hasn't shined recently, and they definitely can score. This is not your typical, this ain't your Mimas VCU, right? They got some athletic dogs on that team. They can score a little bit. But they're still, a defensive-minded front, and seeing that total that low after the first game is a good sign for the Rams, I'd say, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
Hero Walrus coming in with his subby 7 months. Let's go, Hero Walrus. Sure we can. W's. Let me know what you're on today, my man. All right, 15 minutes here, Javon. Any other Geysermans in CBBs?
Dude, I've seen NIU probably more than anything today.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I'm not even in chat. Like it's rivaling Villanova at this point, with as much as I've seen it on Twitter.
Well,
I'm really struggling to figure out why.
Well, it definitely looks like a crab's play. I'll tell you that much. I mean, they haven't won a game since Nam. They haven't covered a game since Nam. And now they're playing Central Michigan is on fire. And that spread's only 3.5. It's weird. I don't know.
Does look weird.
What are your initial thoughts?
I mean, it definitely seems, I guess, short with how they've been performing ATS really in the entire conference season. They just haven't covered a game yet. So, I mean, it's got to come at some point. It's just, I don't know. Whenever a lot of people are on a play like this, I feel like it doesn't usually go very well. So that's why I'm struggling. I'm struggling to get involved. I'm not going to lie. I 100%, I guess, I respect the play. I just, it's weird seeing NIU basically trending on Twitter at this point, which, again, it's not all betters, but it's weird to see. I don't know if I can do it.
It stinks. It really does stink because it checks all my boxes when I'm capping the game. It really does. Besides the one that it's, Twitter POD, I guess it doesn't check that box because it is. They are, the better team in this series. Like, they did play them twice last year, beat them both times last year. They've beaten them 4 of the last 5 years. They have Central Michigan's number that I don't love, right? They're coming off of 2 straight wins against that team. But everything else, I mean, the splits, the short spreads, the fact that NIU hasn't even been competitive in a basketball game in almost a month and a half, and they're playing a pretty solid Central Michigan team, playing their best basketball this season. Weird. I think that's pretty weird.
Yeah.
I do.
With it.
All right. You already talked about Kansas State. That's one of your favorite plays today, right?
Yep.
Good. We got Savage, got Dablik coming in with a 12-month resub on Prime. Let's go, Savage. W's. Do you like this team total over in this game, Javon?
Not particularly. Like, I don't hate it, but in that game, like, I'm kind of leaning on Kansas State being a little more defensive, like they have been, at home pretty much all their games that have been close this season. So, I guess maybe more Oklahoma team total under than anything, but I'm just playing Kansas State.
Okay. Let's go to Mississippi State and Ole Miss. I feel like we got to touch on that game real quick before we wrap up. We already have touched on a lot of these games with our best bets. So if you guys missed that, you can always go back and rewatch these episodes on the YouTube. Okay. I think they have them on Twitch as well, but go back on the YouTube, way easier to find, and rewatch and get your winners for today. If you missed the best bet segment, we changed up the Sharp Report a little bit today, just tweaked it up. to give you guys more winners and make it a little bit easier on our end. Okay. But Javon, we're seeing this line almost a pick 'em now at this point against Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Any initial thoughts on this game? I'm not an Ole Miss guy. I want to keep fading that squad, but to be honest with you, man, they just keep on shrugging and winning games. They've won 2 of their last 3 now after that little, struggling burst about a month ago.
I mean, I'll be honest. I am a little surprised they're not dogs in this game.
Huh.
Which, because it makes an incredible amount of basketball sense. Like this is, I mean, first of all, line-wise, the same team that was 3-point underdogs to Florida like 2 weeks ago. And Mississippi State, I can argue, inside with Tolu Smith, they have the advantage in pretty much every area. Like you look at the game, you see who the hell is going to guard Tolu Smith. I think Mikey on the morning after said the same exact thing. They're small. They're not really physical. And seeing, I don't know, Ole Miss, I would say this -1 is a little bit of respect for them. Everything considered in this matchup and the line respect you've seen for the last couple of weeks or lack of it on some of these games, even at home. I know they've been great at home. Mississippi State's coming off a massive win against Auburn. Not many teams can say that. So I don't know if I can get with fading Ole Miss today because this just seems like it's too easy.
Do you like the over in this game? Do you think that total is a speck high? We've seen a lot of unders for Mississippi State recently. Same with Ole Miss. What do you think about that over?
I don't know if I feel a certain way. I will say, I mean, like that Auburn game was impressive coming off of that and holding them to 58 points. They were super, super physical. So, like, looking at that game, I guess the easy answer is to say, all right, they shut down Auburn. Auburn's whole brand is physicality. So now they're going up against a really small and non-physical Ole Miss team. How are they going to score more than Auburn did? Which is kind of the question here. Like, everything about this game screams to me like basketball brain play. The easiest play on the board, I would argue, would be Mississippi State, which is why I don't think they should be dogs in this game, and they are.
People forget Moussa Cisse is on that Ole Miss team, and he's a pretty fucking good defender.
He is. He's just like a – I mean, first of all, Tolu Smith is going to bring him out to the perimeter for like a little bit and make him move, which when he's on the move, he hasn't been very good. So it's just like he's also super like undisciplined. I can guarantee you he's going to get 2 early fouls and not be taken out of the game, but at least affect it. You're going to get that bench unit really early. But if he stays disciplined, which is the big if, he can be a solid piece defensively to kind of slow them down.
Yep. He is a beast defender. I got to give him that. The guy cannot score a lick, but he is a freaking wall down there in the paint.
Yeah,
coming over from OK State. If you guys remember him, he was a beast. All right. Any late night Geysermans before we move? I know we went over a lot of these already. I need to put it on records. Trent has a POD. He likes Air Force today, chat. And then I like Colorado State late nights. Javon?
You know, I really got a feeling in my plums. I don't know if I'm going to act on it because it's really not just because the first game was a ridiculous blowout, but it seems like this team, no matter how good or bad they are, they just always catch Kansas lacking. And
no way.
Oklahoma State, it's a big line. And really, I don't like fading these big lines in the Big 12 because they always seem to go the favorite's way and have been screaming that from the rooftops for a couple weeks now. The plums are telling me Oklahoma State makes this a game. Am I going to bet it? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, seeing Kansas steamed up to -16 is a scary thought, but that game was just in Stillwater and it was 90-66. I think that was the biggest blowout they've had in Stillwater at home in quite some time. So I don't know. This just seems like one of those weird games where nobody expects it from Oklahoma State, and they do it on the road and make it close.
That's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see how it plays out. Okay, that is a crazy, crazy take. And you know what? If you check the data, they do usually play Kansas pretty well. Maybe not that last game, but
yeah, and
you might be on something there.
You see what's looming this weekend. And I did see this too.
They might have their eyes on the.
This looks like the easiest boost of all time.
Kansas ML, Tennessee ML, and UNC ML. They're putting those together and they're giving you a reasonable parlay odds. You've got to be kidding me.
What's the boost for that one? I gotta see. Is that a separate boost or is it actually in one? Because like
you've got to be kidding me.
Even if that ends up hitting and they all win, usually that tells you that one or two of these games is going to get very, very weird because they're massive spreads. I mean, North Carolina is the only single-digit spread in there. Kansas is -16, Tennessee -14. something's going to get weird.
I mean, one of those three teams is losing outright. That's what that
Well,
tells me.
I've seen UNC. They are the common denominator, I will say, in some of these boosts, which they've been superhuman. So maybe it's them, but at the very least, I think they're the biggest.
My pick.
I mean, yeah, they're the obvious candidate, I think, to get beat. I think Kansas is the sneaky candidate for a close game because I think UNC, it's a one possession game or they win by 20 again.
Chat, please don't take that boost for the love of God. Those are like three of the weirdest fat favorites of the day today that they just put together in a lay. I wonder why they did it. You've been warned. All right, chat, you've been warned. I know you guys get off to these boosts or whatever. Not a boost. What Lembong?
Yeah,
dude,
popular.
I don't need grammar corrections here. Whatever the hell it is, I don't give a hoot. Don't bet them. They're cake. All right.
All three and marquee games on Saturday too.
Sheesh. Yeah, a lot of look ahead spots here. All right. Hovey already nuked it. Well, shit. Can't be worse than your 2K game, Hovey. I got no room to talk after last night, though. All right. Javon, real quick, take us through any NBA plays before we get the squad ride moving and grooving.
I mean, I really don't have much in the NBA. Total, I guess, in the Lakers game is adjusted a little bit, but guess where it still is? 4 points above the opener. So same read there. That's by far my favorite play on the NBA slate still. But other than that, don't got too much.
All right, so we want to put that in the squad ride and start brainstorming, crafting, finding the people winner after yesterday's loss. You down?
Gladly.
Gubs, Goots, run that shit. All right, chat, we got some work to do. We don't have best bets below on the screen, but we do have them going below on the ticker W Goots. Okay, we got plenty of action for you. If you guys want more, go follow us on Pickett Sports. And if you want to craft up plays yourself, do what we do every single day. That's hopinprops.cash. Hop on a phone call this afternoon and craft up prize picks for you guys. And they've been smacking, and that method has been working. So if you guys want to craft up winners yourself and you're struggling on prize picks, go give props.cash a try. I promise you, you use our discount code. It's cheap as heck for a month. If you don't want to use it after a month, cancel it. Who gives a hoot? But you're not going to cancel it because it's going to help you win more bets. I'm telling you, Javon, it's night and day since I've started using this fucking app. Hidden entries. It's not even.
It is. It's definitely which we can get in the vote in a little bit. But for NBA, I was shooting tour dates like a week ago, and I started to get into it and looking at some contextual charts, and they've definitely helped. So wprops.cash.
Well, yeah, whatever you're using to give out your NBA squares right now, keep doing it. And if it's props.cash, that's a W. Same with Lauren, right? She uses that app more than probably any of us, combined. She lives in that app, and she probably hits the most entries out of all of us too. So 2 + 2 = 4. Chat. Go check out props.cash if you want to hit more prize picks. Plain and simple. We got plays from Jay coming in. W promo, W subbank plays with Jay. All right. Let's get the people some squad ride options, Javon. All right. We got about 5 minutes. I'd say we throw that over in the NBA in there if you're cool with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like that line has settled where? Around 247.
Yep.
All right. Lakers, Atlanta over 247. Sure. Chat, throw out your favorite plays that you want us to take in chat. I want to see them. All right. So go. Hurry up. Don't just sit there. Don't be lazy. Drop your favorite play in chat. All right. I want to see those puppies. Javon, we can leave out Ohio State and Villanova. They're a little sketchier. I'd rather go Georgia Tech and Colorado State.
Okay.
Cool with that for my 2 plays here.
Oh, man.
GT plus 8.5, I believe, is what they're at. And then we've got Colorado State. ML skis. Gosh, I don't get to back this team a lot. I'm excited. I'm excited.
The difference.
What do you want to throw in here, Javon? What are your favorite plays?
It keeps just looking at me. It's super funny that we mentioned for a little bit. The rare Dayton package.
Oh, man, I don't know if I want to do that. Do I have that in me?
Do you? It's the question everybody's asking.
G Dubs.
It's the question everybody is asking.
I hate fading G Dubs, but all the signs are pointing towards a Dayton blowout. The only thing I don't love is that it's G Dubs and the spread has pulled back. And Dayton technically is public, but George Washington will be the square side in this contest. That's for sure.
Okay.
Man.
I mean, I love Kansas State. I just hate going back-to-back squad rides that are juicy. I feel like we'd have to take the points.
Okay. How much you love Kansas State? Like favorite play of the day type?
It is, but I mean, I'm personally taking the ML.
Gotta be K-State.
Well, I don't know now, man. Oh. Let's see how juicy this puppy really is. Give me another play, though, Javon. You want to put Murray State in there for the 5th?
No, we can leave that out. That's a straight bet on a sketchy organization over there.
Okay. All right, Javon. Kansas State. Let's see how juicy this ML really is. I mean, I'm seeing minus 140s.
Minus 150.
I'm seeing minus 140s, brother. That line's pulling back. Are we really going to have a Fred over minus 140?
I mean, it's not my call.
A minus 140 never hurt nobody.
Yeah.
All right, let's put that in there. All right. If it was minus 150, I'd say, maybe we keep that out. But minus 140, come on.
That's where I saw it. So that was kind of my thoughts.
Come on. K-State ML minus 140, sure. What else we got?
What else do we have? Could go that under in the VCU game.
Ooh. I'm so in.
I feel like those have been some of our best reads the last couple weeks.
Yeah, the weird unders we found on stream that have no business being that low. I'm so in. I'm so in. It sucks because chat doesn't vote for these. But what can we do? All we do is alley-oop options, and who are we to, chirp their picks? We're 50 games over 500, right?
It's working.
Who are we to chirp? Come on. VCU and St. Bon under 138. Sure. Chat, you got 1 minute until the surge stream starts up here. Okay. Lock in these 5 plays, get your vote going for the squad ride. Just because one play doesn't win doesn't mean you can't take it. Okay? People think you throw out the other 4 plays out the fucking window. You don't think twice about them. You just put the squad ride. Guys, these are all 5 of our best plays today. People sleep on that. People don't talk about that enough. You should be taking probably all 5 of these evenly for 1 unit and going about your day. Okay. If you want a full 5-piece card. All right. Guys, 5 plays, 5 winners. You got the Lakers in Atlanta over 247, Georgia Tech plus 8.5, Colorado State money line, Kansas State money line, and VCU St. Bonnie under 138. Hurry up. Go. Get your votes in. You have 20 seconds. Hurry up. There's no time. If you're wondering what I'm talking about and have no idea and you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, come over to Booking Sports on Twitch. Stay a while. Drop a follow. We're live every fucking day, giving you guys winners left and right. Okay? And stick around for the surge stream with Trent starting up here in about 30 seconds. All right, folks? We're down to the home stretch. Mage around the corner. It's going to be Kansas State money line. When we calls that fret, they were going to vote for that anyways. Okay. K-State out. That ain't no problem. We're going to be on it anyways, Javon. Love the play. Let's rebound from yesterday's squad ride cake with a big-time squad ride W tonight. Why not us?
Need it.
Dubs. Chat, stick around. We got Trent going over the surge stream, giving us winners, giving us prize pick squares. Hang with us. All right, let's see what Trent's on. Low key. He's been on a heater recently, okay? Chat, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll be seeing, folks.